There are a number of different financing options that are available to startups. Obviously, there are some non-dilutive options that everyone should explore. Things like IRAP, definitely the shreds that we've talked about in earlier sessions, and some of the other grants that are obtainable provincially from organizations in Ontario or BC or New Brunswick or wherever you happen to be. For these purposes, we're just going to talk about a couple of different financing structures for early stage companies. Obviously, the simplest is equity finance. In equity finance, when you hear that reference, it just means issuance of shares or something like shares. The simplest form of equity finance is a common share financing. And that's what typically friends and family will participate in. Founders will take their shares initially day one for nominal consideration, 1 million shares for $1 kind of thing. And then the friends and family may come on for, $50,000 or something like that worth of common shares. The only issue with that is that you need to establish a valuation at which those shares are going to be issued. And it's very difficult to do that at an early stage, particularly where you don't have kind of a lead, knowledgeable, sophisticated investor to determine what that valuation is. So one of the things that happens quite often for early stage companies is, as opposed to going with these simple common share financings, they'll often do what's called a convertible debenture or a convertible note. That's basically an instrument where the investor can put the money into the company, but the decision about what the valuation is deferred until a later point in time. That's advantageous from the company's standpoint and from the investor's standpoint, because neither may be in a position to establish what the valuation is at that stage. And from the investor standpoint, they don't have to worry about the decision about whether this company is worth $1 million or $10 million at this stage. What they get on a guaranteed basis generally is a discount to whatever the next round of financing is. So one of these convertible notes may, for example, say, here's $100,000. We don't know what the valuation of the company is, or there may be a floor or sort of a maximum valuation of $5 million on the company or something like that. But what the note will say is, this note will convert into whatever your next round of financing is at a 20% discount to that financing valuation. From the perspective of the investor, this is obviously advantageous because they know they're going to get a discount, time value of their money, from whatever the next financing round valuation is. And that valuation may be led by a sophisticated venture capitalist who's able to put a proper valuation on the company. From the company's perspective, they're deferring that valuation decision to a later date. Generally speaking, that means it's going to be at a higher valuation, because the day one valuation of a company is going to be quite low, whereas the valuation a year or two down the road, even at a 20% discount, could be substantially higher.